big news. Not breaking news, but important contextual facts and institutional approaches were discussed. And the funny thing is, Brian Gutekunst insisted he was not going to get into hypotheticals. He didn't want to get into contract discussions with guys like Devondre Campbell, Russell Douglas, Zadarius Smith. He did get into the Aaron Rodgers of it all and the Davante Adams of it all. And at first, Gutekunst equivocated a bit. Oh, well, we're not rushing Aaron Rodgers, but we're waiting. And he understands what our timeline is. The timeline, we know what the timeline is. It's got to happen soon. We're going to talk about this part of it in a second. Rodgers is the first domino. That's what Brian Gutekunst said. We wondered yesterday, is Rodgers waiting on Davante or is it the other way around? And it still could be the case that what Aaron Rodgers is doing is saying, look, Green Bay, what I need is for you to invest in Davante Adams, pay him the money, and I will agree to be on board. And we said, okay, the flip side of that is Rodgers has to make a decision. If he says he comes back, they can rework that deal, and then they get the Davante Adams piece worked out. Now, there is also a world in which there is a shade of gray here, where Rodgers is looking for some sort of indication that talks are productive, they're close, they can get a deal done, they can figure it out. This is all under the supposition that Rodgers is going to come back, that he's going to take whatever money they can give him in 2022 to make all of the pieces work. The Packers laid out their plan to Aaron. Hey, here's the contract offer that we are going to make to you. That allows us to make this contract offer to Davante Adams, which allows us to do X. You see how this all flows. Aaron Rodgers is the big domino. And he's the big domino for a very important reason having to do with Davante Adams and what his money means for Davante. We're going to get to that a little bit later in the show. What Gutekunst also said was he did not agree that if Aaron Rodgers wants to be traded, that he will be traded. What he said instead was that they agreed that at the end of the season, they would come together and work it out, hash it out, figure out the best way to move forward. That is importantly not the same as saying, yes, I will trade you. That's not the discussion, apparently, that was had. That's meaningful in all of this too, because the Packers still hold plenty of cards. Aaron Rodgers is still owed plenty of money. He is under contract, and he is still under some obligation to the Green Bay Packers, at least in theory. Whether or not he cares about that, a separate thing. The other part of this, Tom Clements. Tom Clements, Brian Gutekunst said, was a decision. He was asked explicitly, was this move made to please Aaron Rodgers, much like the Randall Cobb signing or trade last year? In essence, did Rodgers say, I need this, do this? Was it a wooing? That is going to be the question. That is certainly how Bears fans, Vikings fans, Broncos fans are going to frame it. Oh, this is the Packers trying to convince Aaron Rodgers to come back. What he said is more than I thought he would say. What he said was that this was not about Rodgers demanding it or anything like that. That it was not done to appease Rodgers, so to speak, but rather that it was an example of the communication between Rodgers and the front office. Now, it was a move made by Matt LaFleur, a hire that Matt LaFleur made in conjunction with discussions that were had with Aaron Rodgers. That brings us back to the questions we were asking originally. Would the Packers hire a coach solely on the chance that it would contribute to Rodgers wanting to come back? Would they risk what that would mean if Rodgers doesn't come back? And likewise, would Rodgers leave hanging a man for whom he has tremendous respect? Would he bring a 68-year-old coach out of retirement just to play games? My vote on that would be no, but certainly there are some people out there who think Rodgers is that kind of person, that he would do that if it helped him get his way or if it allowed him to play out some sort of power fantasy. I don't believe that. For the record, I don't believe that. But I know that there are Packer fans. There are Packer fans out there who have really soured on Aaron Rodgers and believe that he would engage in that kind of manipulation. I don't think that's fair. But I understand that idea is out there, that there are people in the fan base who believe that. I don't. Again, let me be very clear about that. But I don't. And so I think that this explanation is meaningful for the way that we should look at this hire. This was something that Aaron Rodgers essentially asked for. They said, hey, what do you think the deal is here? Who would you like? Who do you think would work? And Rodgers said, my old buddy, Tom Clements. And that is who the Packers gave him. It underscores what Rodgers, what Gutekunst have said, and that is that this relationship has gotten better. The communication has been better. And both sides have